Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review You're Cordially Invited. And this is a new comedy coming to you on Prime Video from writer-director Nicholas Stoller, who has done films like Neighbors and Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and a lot of things that I really enjoy. Low-key love Storks. It's such a random, hilarious movie. And now he's taking on this story of two double-booked weddings at a venue. And you have Will Ferrell, who is the father of the bride of Geraldine Viswanathan. And you also have Reese Witherspoon, who is the sister of the other bride, Meredith Hagner's character. And they're double-booked. They're trying to make this work. And shenanigans happen. And of course, two people who absolutely hate each other and don't get along wind up falling in love. Because that's the kind of movie this is. And I think the biggest thing that frustrates me about this film is that it does fully lean into that really obnoxious template for like all rom-coms from anything made by Netflix, Hallmark, all of those studios and channels. And at the end of the day, Will Ferrell's character and Reese Witherspoon's characters, neither of them are very likable. You don't really buy in to this connection that develops between them. And I really don't feel like they had great chemistry at all. And at one point, like, somebody just points out, it's like, he likes you. And it's like, oh, maybe I like him too. And it's like that simple. And it just doesn't work. And doesn't really sell you. And that's the big, like, anchoring piece to this story. And then you have a whole bunch of other characters and conflicts. Because you have Ferrell's playing a widower, and he's overprotective of his daughter, but you don't even buy into the relationship between his daughter and this guy who just, honestly, kind of just feels like a guy, and it's a not very interesting pairing. And most of the comedy that comes out of that is just that the fact that all of her friends are like a certain generation, different than Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell, and they make a lot of jokes about it. There are some funny gags and stuff like that. This film does have some funny moments. And I think a lot of it comes from the supporting cast. I do really like Hagner, but the big ones, Liam Morgan, who plays one of the sisters, is just downright hilarious. Every time she opens her mouth, she sells whatever Stoller gave her. And you have the always incredible Jack McBrayer, who's just so damn funny as the guy who runs this little hotel. And there's a couple other standouts, like Rory Scovel from Physical. He plays the brother of Reese Witherspoon. I enjoyed him too. It's really the sibling characters and then a few other select characters that have any good sense of humor. And so many of the other characters are just so bland and just underwritten that you don't really connect. And it's dealing with some pretty significant different types of themes, but I don't think this film really ever takes itself seriously enough to deliver something earnest and meaningful out of it. This film is also really close to 2 hours, and there's not much of this film that really is funny or moving, and you get through almost 2 hours of this film, and that's the challenging thing, is it feels long. And it just gets, I think there's a clash of sense of humor, because Witherspoon, I think, is very much like, in the situation you put her in, she tries to work with. Will Ferrell has a very specific brand of comedy, and I don't feel like it really meshes with what Stoller's trying to do here. And I feel like there's a lot of clashing awkwardness in terms of the sense of humor that's trying to go through. I do really enjoy Will Ferrell. I think he has to be playing weird, over-the-top characters. He's not playing a character in this. He's just playing a very, like, paint-by-the-numbers dad character, and there isn't much for him to work with, except for a few gags. Like, there's a random, like, chase with him and the bridesmaids and stuff like that was random. And honestly, one of the funniest things in this movie happens during the credits, and you're just like, what? So, this film, I think, is, in general watchable and will have some laughs. It just does not work anywhere near as close as the vast majority of Stoller's work. This one's a kind of a letdown in terms of his filmography, and there's just too much talent here to feel like this is so bland. And I hate to say it, it just kind of feels like a random streaming comedy that I'm not surprised this didn't go into theaters, because I feel like this would just casually just be forgotten and moved on. But those are my thoughts on You're Cordially Invited. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.